It's a great day, educators. Grab your favorite coffee, take a deep breath, and prepare to be catered to. It's a great day, educators. I am your host, Andrea T. Harris, Growth Agent. I advocate for the total well-being of individuals and educate on mindfulness, resilience, and self-care. Here at the Educator Show, we are dedicated to providing growth tools to educators such as teachers, principals, mentors, coaches, group facilitators, and anyone providing information to a group of people. Our candid conversations involve the 4 E's of maximizing your life's journey: embrace, extract, evolve, and encourage. Educators, today I have the pleasure of having a conversation with Nancy Solari. Nancy is a best-selling author and renowned speaker in business success and personal motivation. As a life coach, she has empowered people to overcome their physical and emotional challenges and achieve their goals. When Nancy was 16 years old, she was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa and has experienced progressive vision loss over the years. And despite her prognosis, she was resilient in creating a vision for her future and determined to live with purpose and follow her dreams. She went on to work for Good Morning America and Entertainment Tonight, had a professional music career, and was a top producing realtor in Southern California. Today, Nancy hosts the National Living Full Out show and is an inspiring example of creating a successful life through determination and positivity. Nancy believes everyone is capable of overcoming adversities and living full out. She is an authentic, passionate, and successful example of how you can live the life you want with the right mindset and foundation. Regardless of the challenges you face, with perseverance and a desire for greatness, you can begin living full out. So, educators, let's welcome Nancy to the show. Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Hello. I'm great.
That's awesome. Okay, I know I just gave our listeners a brief overview of who you are. Can you share a little bit more about who you are, your purpose, your passion, things like that?
Absolutely. And first of all, I just want to say, everybody in this community, I am with you. I simply admire those who lead and teach and really want to give back, and that is this community. And for me, I grew up and I saw a lot of things early on that were heartbreaking. My family divorcing, my mom fought breast cancer, and then myself and 2 of my sisters, we were all diagnosed with RP. And that was really a lot to take in before age 16. But then again, when we get a challenge in life, and I'm sure you all have, you know, uh, individuals that you work with that are going through similar challenges, there's a certain spirit in us that kind of rallies, like it's game on, right? And
Right.
so I wanted to see as many things as I could with my eyes before I couldn't. And so that's really kind of how my path got started in terms of all the things I've accomplished.
Awesome. So, this living full out. I mean, I can hear our listeners probably saying, live full out. What does that actually mean? So, could you share how you came up with living full out and what it actually means?
Absolutely. So when I first created Living Full Out, at that time I was selling real estate and I was a top producing realtor in Southern California. But at the same time, I was losing my vision, and so much so that I had to give up driving. And believe it or not, I would take buses to show properties. I would take 2 to 12 buses in a day. I would have my clients show up in their luxury automobile. I would memorize every step, turn on every light I could to make it as bright as possible to navigate. And then as soon as it was done, they would drive off in their car, and I'd walk back to the bus and take my next bus to my next showing. And then after time, I got an assistant and so forth. But I remember also during that time, I was dating a gentleman who was also suffering with depression, and I was trying to figure out my RP. And one day I was sitting on my porch, and I just thought, there's got to be more. I need
Mm.
a man who supports my vision. He needs more resources to help him with his depression. I need to figure out what career is the best for me. And I kept thinking about my own life. And I thought even about people, the friends and family and colleagues that I was serving in real estate. And that is when Living Full Out was born, because I wanted to create a platform where we could take our dreams and goals. But a lot of times it's hard to figure out, okay, I know what I want, but how do I get there?
Yes.
What resource do I need? What support team do I need? And that's when I just said, you know what? I am just going to step up and serve and help connect those dots. And that's when Living Full Out was born.
Amazing. Oh my God. You said something that really just struck me. You did not allow your life's challenges to stop you from doing what you were doing. You took not just one bus, but up to 12 buses to do a showing. You created your own way through the challenge.
Yeah, and I remember that time so fondly because it was not easy. I mean, I'm pretty sure the other passengers on the bus were looking at me like, why does this lady have like 6 open house signs and flags with her? And even if
Oh
I did an
wow.
open house, I would take all that on the bus, and I would get there 2 hours before the open house, walk the entire neighborhood putting out these directional signs, do the open house, and then take 2 more hours to pick up all the signs and then take my bus back home again. But the thing is I used that time to get motivated. I would listen to so many different audios on how I wanted to take Living Full Out to the next level,
Hmm.
or I would listen to coaching audios about how I could best serve my clients. And so that was almost like the bus was like Nancy University. It was the time for me to focus on learning. So it was pretty great.
That is truly, truly amazing because so often I see people that they're not, dampering other people's challenges, but their challenge may not be to the extent of yours. And they just give up. I'm not going to do this, or I can't do this. I'm going to have to, do something else. But in the midst of you creating something, you still push forward and continue in what you were doing, and you persevered through that, and that is totally amazing, totally amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know what I'm going to share with your audience? And I didn't figure this out until many, many years later.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the tragedies, it's the crises, it's the disabilities, it's the flaws, it's the times we fail. I mean, you want to say to the universe, "Okay, give it to me," right? I mean, don't break my heart too many times, but give it to me. And the reason why I say that is the people who haven't had that need to survive, that
Ah,
need to heal, the times where you're on your knees praying, you need those times in order to have that personal growth. So in some ways, I'm appreciative for going legally blind.
yeah.
I'm appreciative for the times my heart was broken, because it just kind of got me closer to who Nancy was at the
Yes.
core.
Right.
Right.
Right. I can identify with that, and I know my listeners have heard this before, but I am appreciative for the experience of a traumatic brain injury, because like you said, it helped me evolve into a greater me, like a new found me, a new version of me. And I'm very appreciative of it, because like you said, if I had not had that great challenge, then I would not have taken that time to pause, taking that time to get closer to God, taking that time to find out more about what it is that I'm supposed to be doing and appreciate life even more. And like you say, live full out, because at that time I refused myself to allow that experience to snuff out who I was created to be. Awesome.
100%, sister. I'm right there with you. Yep.
Okay, so there was another thing you said about you knew that there had to be more. There had to be more than what you were experiencing. So for educators, I know sometimes in the different professions, whether they're public teachers or coaches, mentors, oftentimes they're thinking there has to be more to life than just this. You know, the challenges they may face with teaching and experiencing the high demands of the education system and experiencing burnout and frustrations and things like that. So oftentimes they're thinking there has to be more. What would you share with them about this place that they may be in?
That is a really, really good question. What I would say about that is let your natural purpose, right? Most people are giving, they're good listeners, they want to teach, they want to assist. Let that natural gift that you have become your big, big purpose, your legacy in life, and let that be the strength that you turn to during the hard times. So it's
Mm,
interesting because there's, let's say, for any educator listening right now, they're the educator and they're serving a client, right? The
right,
client is going through a really hard time, but the educator has to have gone through their own hardships in life. They're not going to have the same exact experience as their client, but pain is pain, grieving
right,
is grieving, loss is loss. So when you can go through a hardship, learn the lessons, come out of it, survive it, it's not going to be the same as the client that you're serving. But when you grab their hand, when you give them a hug, when you look in their eyes, they get that you get them and vice versa. It's you're having a moment. So again, you want to bring on those challenges, right? Bring on the
right,
pain,
right.
because that's what makes you relatable, and people are inspired by those that they connect with.
Yes, I totally agree about that. Okay, so you mentioned about the different challenges and that everyone challenging and challenges are different. I want to talk about this different. So oftentimes people allow their challenges or life circumstances to really just cause them to lose their originality. And how how can you share with our educators to get back to identifying who they are and move towards living that full out?
Okay, and I again, such a great question. Boy, you are such a good interviewer. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. You're
Oh,
amazing.
thank you.
Um, so what I love about asking that question is that you do want to be an original, and sometimes, well, I shouldn't say sometimes, we live now in an environment where we're constantly comparing, whether it's on
Mm,
social media, whether it's comparing ourselves with other colleagues, our friends, our siblings, you name it. And the thing is, it isn't about everybody needing to check the same box. We all
right.
must be married. We all must have kids. We all must have make a certain amount, right? We all must be the same weight.
Hmm.
It's about finding that signature you.
Mm.
And the thing is you want to think down the line, hopefully many, many, many years down the line, when you're taking your last breath,
Hmm.
what do you want to be most known for? And that can be true as a friend, as a family member, as a coworker, as an educator. And so when you're talking about being different or being an original, you know, and you even talked earlier about, what do you do with this pain, right? Because these educators help people all day and then they go home to their own pains, right?
Right.
So it's really about looking at the journey that you were given,
Mm.
and the pains, the hardships that you are given are yours and yours alone. It may be similar to other people, but that was your life's journey, your walk.
Right.
And so even if I have my two other sisters who both have the same eye condition I do, our walks through life are much different. So that's where it's not about who's different or how are we different. It's about being an original, having that your own journey.
Yes, definitely. So with RP, when you first found out about this condition, what was your view of it then, and what is your view of it now?
Mm. Well, back when I was diagnosed, I was 16, and my older sisters were just, 2 to 3 years older than me. And we were told that we would go blind by the time we were 40.
Mm.
So that's a big looming cloud when you're a 16-year-old. I mean, at 16, 40 feels far off, but you
Right.
still know it. But you still know it's there,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and in the back of your mind, you can be game on. I'm going to go after my life in a big way, but you still know it's there. And the thing is, what I have learned, and I actually thank RP because it's given me a really honest, vulnerable, and unique way to connect with people. So if I was to go to the doctor, right, I would
Mhm.
march in a well, let's say I was fully sighted. I would march in the building, I would press the elevator button, I would go to the suite, I'd wait in the waiting room, and that would be it.
Right.
But that's if I was fully sighted. But being that I can't see, I generally take an Uber or a Lyft, and they then pass me off to someone at the lower level, like a pharmacy person or a security person. And
Mhm.
I'm holding that person's hand. I'm like, "How's your day? And what's going on?" And we're having a moment, right? And
Right.
then they pass me off to the person in the doctor's office, and now I'm talking to that person, and we're having a moment. And so the thing is being legally blind has actually allowed me to give up the need to look good or not have it all together because I do depend on people. They're
Mhm.
my eyes because I can't see. For me, that's my eyes not seeing. But for anybody else listening, you all have the ability to have those moments.
Right.
Again, it's putting aside looking good. It's just being a little bit more vulnerable, and that again is what will connect us. And then that is what, as an educator, makes people go, "Wow,
Yeah.
she gets me." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, they're just thinking about that made me think of how the challenges of life they come to um to reground us, because like you said, if you were fully sighted, your thing is, okay, I'm going into the doctor's office, your focus is that, and you're coming on out. How many times do we do that? We that's our focus. I'm going to this doctor's appointment, I'm going to the store to do this, and I'm coming out. But because of your need to depend on others, it allows you a moment to connect with others. And so I think that's also, like you said, the relatable part earlier with educators, that's a missing piece of being able to connect with others, being mindful in that moment, in that present moment, and allowing that moment to be.
Yeah, and I mean that could be just seeing a coworker, seeing a student, seeing somebody who's energetically lower than they normally are,
Mm.
and scooping them up and investing in them. And or even if sometimes we all have like a bad day, right? We just
Right.
woke up on the wrong side of the bed, everything's going lopsided, right?
Yeah.
I firmly believe when life goes lopsided, again, that's when you turn your energy to other people. I know some might say you can't give what you don't have, but I also believe that sometimes when we're stuck in our own stuff, we
Mm.
get deeper and
Mhm.
deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But if you turn to somebody else, now you're taking their energy, a positive energy, Do you see that? So it's
Yeah.
like, it isn't like you turn to another person to take on their problems. I wouldn't call that person, but
Right.
you turn to the person that's full of light and let their vibration, their energy, their motivation lift you up on
Yeah.
those hard days. Hmm.
Yeah. I love it. Love it. Okay. So, is there anything else you would like to share with our educators about living full out?
Well, the thing I want to share, one last thing, would just be to always remember that this is your story. I
Mhm.
don't know if your audience will go on to write memoirs, or if they like to journal or what, but I think it's really important to look at our life as a story. And everybody who's in it, you're the main character, but everybody who's in it are supporting characters. And some jobs, some people will last throughout the whole book, but
Mm.
other people are going to come and go, and it's okay to let go. And sometimes in life, we feel like we have to keep everything together at one time. But part of reading a book or watching a movie is the drama, the ups and the downs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you got to let your own life have those ups and downs.
Mm.
Let your story unfold just as it organically should. And that's what living full out is about. Not fearing the unknown, not fearing the changes, just saying, you know what? Bring it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I love that. Let your life unfold as it organically should. Hmm, that's amazing. Sometimes I know personally, I've tried to make things happen, make things go in a certain direction. But when I decided to allow things to be, then I found freedom in that. I found freedom in life. Uh,
Absolutely. And I just wanted you to take that moment and soak that up, because that is freedom. That
yeah,
is freedom. To know that we don't have to check a box, to know that we don't have to control everything. And, if people are, persons of faith, or they believe in
mhm,
the universe, or whatever they believe in, right? It's
right.
it's like we have a destiny.
Hmm.
And whatever you're meant to do, think of it like having a magnet inside your body, right? If you go off course, that magnet is going to pull you back over.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. Okay. Nancy, how can our listeners connect with you?
Well, they can go to livingfullout.com. And when they go there, you can email me directly. You can actually check out our radio show, which I fully support people to do, because it's actually a call-in show. So we have callers that call in from all over the country, and so it's kind of interesting to hear what the everyday person is going through in terms of
Right,
challenges. And then we have those inspirational guests that share what they went through and how they got through it. And we just want to make sure at Living Full Out that you know that you always have a friend in us, that we will hold your hand when you need it. And if you don't need us, come back when you do, and we'll still be there.
awesome. Do you have any upcoming events that you would like to share with our audience?
I speak all over the country, but they're always they're always gaining in speed and growing and moving. So I honestly I would say the best way to reach out to me is at Living Full Out, and we're on all the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and I just share that with you because we are storytellers. So when you go to the social medias, you're going to hear other people's empowering stories. You're going to
Mhm.
learn, and that's really what it's all about. That's the positive side of social media. You're not
Right.
going to be there to compete. Okay, just have fun. Hmm.
Right. Well, Nancy, thank you, thank you, thank you for talking about the importance of living full out, regardless of life's circumstances and challenges. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Educators, remember to subscribe to our newsletter at AndreaTHarris.com to receive personal development tools, updates on new projects, invitations to live events, and so much more. I hope you receive some information today that will help you grow through life. Remember to subscribe to the Educative Podcast, leave a review, and share with your fellow educators.